Hello, this is Vaughn Clement, and this is a tour of a new app called Student Daily Manager. This is the opening screen. You'll see that it's got the iPad. It'll also do iPad mini and the iPhone. This is two separate sets of screens, and then there are screens in the middle that work on either side, the iPad or the iPhone. I'm going to give you a brief overview of this application. First of all, this application is for students that need to organize and manage their daily activities to include their classes, their class assignments, tests that they're going to be taking, study issues that they're going to be taking care of, and a data bank, which is a unique screen we'll be covering. We'll also cover some of these screens as well. Now, be aware that you should read the user guide for the exact details. This video will only cover the basics. Let's start out by going to the classes screen. The classes screen can be for one or more students. For example, I put in John Smith, a generic name, his major and minor courses that he's taking for the year of and semester of. And the grade point average will be accumulated in this area. And these are the credits that these classes down here are for. You would enter an individual portal record for each class that you're taking. It has a place for the professor or class instructor, and a place where you can put notes for the information about the class and anything that may change in the class. Now, understand, this is the parent record. The parent record, once you create it in the student records, will add several other screens, which are assignment, task, studies, and data bank. And this information will be traveling to those screens as soon as it's created here. This information for the class name is entered here, and then as a drop down so you can pick the course information in the other screens. In this screen you would add the credits. You would also add the day and days that this course would be taught on, and the hours. You can also add over here if there are any changes in hours over on this side of the screen. Now, like I said before, you put in all the days and courses that you're going to be using for your normal semester one or whatever semester you're in. There's also a place on the bottom to take general notes about all the classes. Let's take another look at one of the other things that's in part of this screen, which is the calendar. The calendar starts out with Google Calendar or Google search, and you can pick the calendar from the drop down and go to the calendar. This is a free application where you can log in and use the calendar to enter all of your information as far as your calendar things, like any changes or appointments or assignments or anything that you have to do related to the class. Let's next look at the class assignments. Now, in the assignment screen, basically what we're doing here is each individual assignment is listed out as a name for the assignment, and the status is put in here. Like for complete, you can edit this and add different things. For example, there may be a delay in you bringing it in and you're requesting something maybe from the instructor to have it delayed. There is a score that is added as far as the assignment, which you actually got on it as far as a grade, the date of the assignment when it was provided by the instructor, and the assignment due date. There's also an assignment list view that's going to list all the assignments, which we're going to show here in a second, and then you can put all the information about the assignment, and then you add each one individual in here. Now this is for this person, for the class that they're taking that they've notated, and it's for all assignments. If you look at the list view is going to show all of the assignments that you have and whether or not they're completed or not, and you can use this box here to go back to the record that you just came from, and you can also do a find. You start the find by clicking the Start Find, which empties the fields and allows you to put a date or other information in. For example, if you're looking for a status, a pending or whatever it might be, you can go look at all the things that are not completed. Let's go back into this screen again, since this is only a tour. The whole idea of this is so you capture all the information during class or whenever you get an assignment in order to identify all the requirements to get that assignment done. Let's take the tests. Test also has a notes for general information about the course, and as you'll notice, I said the information comes over for this person. Now, if I had added a different person, that record would be displayed here. Okay, in this, there's a test subject as far as what the subject is you're covering, and there is a test time that you're going to be taking the test. The score wouldn't be entered until after you completed the test. In this case, for the sample record, it's entered in here. There's the test date and the class that you're taking the test in. I recommend that what you do is you write a little narrative ahead of the test questions that you're going to create, and then put in there a question, and then the actual question that you're creating from the information that you're gleaning the records from. Now, what that means is you could take textbooks or any other kind of information that's provided to you that you might be tested on and generate questions that you create, and then come in and actually add the answers down on this line for those questions, keeping the numbers where they correspond for this particular piece of information for this particular test. Now, obviously, you can do this for each course and each different lesson or chapter that you're going to be tested on. Now, you can go to the user guide for more detailed information about that. Let's look at studies. Studies carries us one step further. You can either do this prior to doing testing questions, or you can go and do this after. I like to do the outline either before or after, depending on the course. What you're doing in here for studies is you're taking all the materials that you may get, books, watch videos, or anything online, or handouts that you're given that you want to categorize as far as information. For example, if I got a textbook on American education in the 1800s and I'm in chapter 1, what I will do is outline chapter 1 as far as what that information is about. Then I would go over and do the details on this side within this text block, where I might want to put comments about each chapter and sub-item within the chapter. So for example, this would end up by like being a table of contents with more detail, and then the detail under that. For example, you may want to represent the information that's in that particular subchapter and chapter over here. What the outline allows you to do is to look at the body of all the knowledge that you're going to be using in this course at any time and refer back to it, and then look at your notes as far as how you outlined it, which will help you in your studies to make sure that you get all the course material covered as far as the educational elements and all the testing. Let's go ahead and go now to the data bank. The data bank expands on the outline to some degree, where what it does is it allows you to take in any information as far as anything that's graphical or a website. In this case, if you wanted to put a URL in for a study item and you noted what it's about, you could put that URL in here, and when you click on show that website, it'll take you there. If it's a graphic that you want to take the URL for that graphic, then you can go ahead and put that in here, and it will automatically, as soon as you hit insert graphic, it will insert it into this field. You can also write a narrative on this side, as long as you need to, that explains that. What I've done to make this really clear how the data bank works is I've created different kinds of options that you can use as far as information that you bring in. For example, here's one page out of a PDF. Here's a graphic from a website. This is a drop-down that I use Snagit to grab the drop-down from the actual application, and I explain how that is used. And then I took a web screen where I use Snagit to show how to copy a URL for a graphic, and I explained how that worked. So, and you can also put just straight text in. You don't even have to have a graphic, where if you want to capture information from a website and then plug it in, you just put the information in here and what it related to. You would head it off by saying where it came from, what website. You could put that in here, so if you had to go back, you could show the website where this information came from as far as the text is concerned. Now, the whole point of this application is to organize data and manage tests, classes, assignments, and the data bank information. This is a very complete application as far as studies. This is also a custom app, so if you want to modify the application prior to me delivering it, just request those modifications and I'll provide that. So thank you for taking this tour.